Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Colin G with your sneak peek at next week, episode number 626 for comics originally releasing March the 30th and March the 31st. But before Drew and I get into what's coming out in your local comic shops this last week of March, Drew, it sounds like you are going through a million things. All I hear is ruffling on your end and shuffling. Have you fallen under a pile of things? What is going on? Do you need help?
I was like, oh, let me just move this tiny little notebook. Clunk, 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 clunk. Oh, I bet the mic didn't pick that up. I'll just keep doing it. Yeah, I'll be really extra quiet.
It sounded like you'd taped a notebook and a jar of pencils to each hand and were just confused.
I took the time to sort my button collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that, guys.
So, Drew, what's going on in the world of comics?
Hey, first up, I have a PSA. So here, my public service announcement is for my daughter, who is a children's librarian. She has a summer reading program that she's planning for kids of all ages, but there's two programs. So there is a kindergarten through 12-year-old age that usually about 200 kids participate in. And then there is a middle school age, so it's like 12 to 15. Was that middle school? 12 to 14, something like that, for those teenage kids, teenage kids. And there's only about 20 of those. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for. I already grabbed some comics, some of my True Believers and Image First comics.
Be careful, a couple years ago you'd have been like, some of my West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, I do. Well, you know what? It's for the kids. So.
Okay, sorry. I'm thinking of myself. My apologies.
And then some of my Free Comic Book Day books. And I'm trying to keep them all agey, but you know, if they're middle schoolers, they've seen a lot worse.
Just try not to put some Sandman in there. Or some,
yeah,
you know.
I'm gonna try to get some general stuff that makes sense, and they're really excited about it. They're gonna give that for the teens. I don't think they're familiar enough with, even though I tried to explain it to the head librarian, what all ages comics were. For some reason, she didn't get that it would be okay for kids, because she's thinking, I guess, of the kindergartners. They're not gonna want to read comics. I'm like, that's not true, but okay. I'm not gonna argue with them. So anyway, so there's 20 of the middle schoolers and like 200 of the young kids, and I thought I'd throw this out there to the listeners as a PSA. Hey, if you work somewhere that does donations, and you have something small, some swaggy type thing, coupons for something that could be used by kids in Southeast Ohio, Southeast Central Ohio, then we would love to have something like that. I'd give that to my daughter to give away as prizes to encourage kids to read throughout the summer. And if you have an idea that you want to do it, I'd be glad to help pay for shipping on that or something. If you wanted to donate, and then they would recognize you or your company in their materials promoting this, and in the newspaper and stuff like that. So just if you have something lying around, I just wanted to throw that out there as something that you might want to do. Don't feel obligated. But I know sometimes people have access to things that you wouldn't think so. And then like, oh, well, I do have 20 keychains laying around that might be fun for teen kids to have. You know, they're going to get ready to drive or something like that. So if you think of something, reach out to us the ways that you reach out to us, and I will set something up to double check that that's something that they would distribute with my daughter, and then we'll make a way to get those to her. I think I made that clear. I hope I didn't rush through that, but yeah, just if it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, then you just ignore it. We'll move on. Anyway, let's moving on. Fridays have become a really big deal in TV world. It started with where Wanda was a big deal.
No.
What?
It started where Mandalorian was a big deal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. What am I thinking? Oh, I'm so dumb. Yeah, it started with Mandalorian, and Fridays became a big deal. Or staying up late on Thursdays, if you're that guy, right?
Yeah, who's that guy?
Who's that guy? And then WandaVision. That went into WandaVision. Now we have Falcon. I have For All Mankind. I really love that over on Apple. And then we have Invincible on Amazon Prime. So every Friday they'll be releasing. They released the first 3 episodes. Although it's an animated series, I watched it and it forced myself to watch it anyway, and it was really good. So we've got Amazon releasing every Friday.
So wait, Falcon. I couldn't get you to do Star Wars animated, and I couldn't get you to do Batman animated.
I know, right?
But the first animated, you're like, I'll do this with bells on and with a happy face is Invincible.
Well, there's 3 of those, 3 episodes of those. How many seasons of the Clone Wars?
Just 7. Well, if you want to go back to the
Rebels,
the Cartoon Network one, there's 9. Well, then there's a couple of seasons, so it's 11 seasons if you're counting it. Come on.
So you want me to just jump in and do marathon 11 seasons of? Which one is it? Rebels or Clone Wars that you're talking about?
Clone Wars is the one I started with, but I mean, you should watch them all. But yeah,
you should watch them all. Right. And it's daunting.
Correct.
It's a daunting one to jump into. Now I know, like, comic book wise, we're used to jumping into things off of not always a first issue, right?
Correct.
So I should be able, but you really need to watch them from the beginning, right? Like
no, we've sent you 1,000 things of here's the 25 that you have to watch, and you ignore those 2.
All those little infographics.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. You have given me shortcuts. I really have no excuse. I'm just bad.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Invincible, how is it?
Invincible is really good. I had forgotten most of the stuff, the story beats from. I had read it those first few trades a long time ago, and then I missed out on a lot of. I dropped off the book for a while and then picked it up there towards the end. So I should probably get back on the series so I can get ahead of the show. But I think it's only 8 episodes.
Do you think that's more enjoyable to get ahead of the show and know what's coming?
I don't know. For Walking Dead, it sure was.
Yeah, true.
I really like that. But no, there's for a lot of things, I kind of just enjoy
the ride.
Like The Boys. I'd never read The Boys beyond like a few issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so The Boys, everything was a surprise to me.
Yeah,
and that was a lot of fun. And Invincible, although I know who the characters are because of those trades, I didn't remember all the plot points that they're touching on, and maybe they're changing things too, and I just didn't realize it. But it's really good. Surprised. I still think For All Mankind's my go-to number 1. Falcon's really good. The second issue of that, the second episode of that was really good, and Invincible's really good. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And actually, AMC Plus puts out The Walking Dead early on Thursday night, so it's ready to go on Friday. But I just can't. I can't fit it in. I can't fit it into my busy schedule, right? And this is a good segue for one of our listeners and contributor Jason from Hawaii says, "Dear Kyle and Drew, since Falcon and Winter Soldier is out, what are the possible spec picks?" Like the first appearance of Sharon Carter for this show. Please continue to keep up the great work. Jason. Okay, so...
Full disclosure, I ain't watched nothing.
Oh, you haven't seen any of the Falcons yet?
No, I've seen nothing.
Well, I won't... These aren't really spoilers. These are
I
just
don't care if you
people that have made
not.
appearances.
It's all good, but yeah.
These are just characters that have made appearances, and I don't think this would spoil anything for anybody. But yeah, Sharon Carter is Tales of Suspense 75 from 1966. Very expensive comic.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Falcon was in Captain America 117 from 1969. That's an expensive comic. Let's see. Falcon as Captain America was in Captain America 1 from 2014. That's probably reasonable.
I need that to spike. So whatever we can do to get that stupid thing to spike, so that stupid, ugly GameStop variant by Greg Horn I have 2 or 3 copies of, I need that to spike, and I need to get rid of those. I have one side by Greg Horn that he made me pay for, and I want to justify... Yeah, I want to justify that obnoxious interaction. So if that doesn't spike to a $50 book, I'm seriously going to be disappointed.
My theory is he will take on the Cap mantle at the final episode, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see. So that's from 2014. You know that. Let's see, Bucky's first appearance was in Captain America #1 from 1941. So that's gonna cost you some money. As Winter Soldier was from Captain America #1 from 2005. And then Bucky as Cap was from Captain America 34 from 2008. So there are some possible spikes there. We had an appearance of, Bucky mentions White Wolf, where Bucky was White Wolf. Now that's from Black Panther in 1998. Black Panther #4 from 1998. So keep an eye on that. We've got Agent Torres. His first appearance, Captain America Sam Wilson #3 from 2015. Torres as Falcon was in Captain America Sam Wilson #6 from 2016. So those are some possibilities because that character is now in the show. We have U.S. Agent James Walker. First appearance of James Walker.
Jeez, how many characters are in this show?
They crammed a lot, and I might have missed some. So, James Walker, Super Patriot, was Captain America 323 from 1986. Him playing as Captain America, him as Captain America was Captain America 333 from 87, and as U.S. Agent was Captain America 354 from 1989. So those are some possibles. That may have already done it, and we'll get to those in comics heating up and later. They may have already spiked. Mm-hmm. Probably have. We had Lamar Hoskins, who is Battlestar, also from Captain America 323 from 1986. So if that one hasn't busted yet, that might be a good one. We have, of course, Zemo from Avengers #4 in 1964. That's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
The first Flag Smasher was from Captain America 312. That's in 1985. The first Isaiah Bradley was from Red, White, and Black in 2003. #1. Red, White, and Black #1. The first Power Broker, the Mad Scientist, Dr. Carl Malice, was from Captain 230, 1979. And these are the ones that, just from me watching the first 2 shows, that I jotted down and Googled. I am sure someone's done an extensive list of every key appearance that may or may not come up in the full 6 episodes. We're only getting 6 episodes of this. So there's probably way more than that, but that's enough to get you started. So yeah,
that's definitely enough to get you started.
And that's just in the first 2 seasons or first 2 episodes. So quite a bit there. Happy hunting. Good luck. I'm sure some of that's reasonable now. It may spike. It may not.
Hopefully, you're able to dig and actually already have these.
Yeah, I mean, if you're smart and have the time, staying up till midnight watching the episode for character appearances and references, and then hopping online and gobbling stuff up is probably the way to go. 100%. But I mean, the smart speckers have probably already anticipated who those people might be, or went to IMDb and seen some actors who are portraying these characters ahead of time, and therefore can put those things together. You can do that too. I don't care that much. I should, because we are a speculation show.
A spec show.
Yeah, but I can't really commit that kind of time. But yeah, why not do that if you can? So there's some, Jason. I hope that helps or confuses you or seems overwhelming.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm just like, okay, there's too many.
Shane says this week shows DC price increase. What do you think of DC increasing all their comics to $6? Well, Shane, I don't think that's quite what happened. As we noted in last week's show when we were looking through the DC June lists, there were some $5.99 books in there. And Kyle and I, notoriously cheap Kyle and I, not happy about it.
No.
I don't think that means that all comics are going to go to $5.99, $6. But they're gonna float these out there, pick and choose, and there's going to be $5.99s, $4.99s, and $3.99s. I'm assuming there's still going to be $3.99s going forward, depending on page count. So, if you got the 20-page comic, I'm hoping that still stays at $3.99. It might move to $4.99 as a standard. The $6.99 is going, or the $5.99 is going to be the 40-page with the backup. So your Justice League Dark, and Batman with whatever backups they're jamming in there. You didn't ask for the backups, but they're giving it to you, and they're
selling it to you anyways.
Yeah, they equate that as worth $1. That backup story is worth an additional $1. So we'll see how that goes. You can't really be that outraged. You've been putting up with this from Marvel for a while. DC's on that train too. That all the ones were $4, $5, $6, $7 anyway, and then we're getting more standardized. If all event titles are now $5 all the time. So, I mean, we've been. What's the parable of the frog in the boiling water? They don't jump out if you put them in cold water and then boil them alive.
What?
But you don't know that one?
No.
Okay.
What did you tell your daughter growing up?
I said, well, when you want to boil a frog, here's how you do it. You don't boil the water first, because if you put them in, they jump right out because it's hot.
If you gradually bring the water to a
water,
boil, they won't notice the difference
and then
in
you
temperature.
gradually,
Yes.
then you can boil a frog alive.
Gotcha.
And who doesn't want to do that? And so that's kind of what we've kind of been in since the $2.99, since holding the line at $2.99 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've accepted these increases on this book or that book, or an annual here and there. Or
that's all well as good, Drew, but I'm still going to be angry. You can't tell me
You can be
I'm
angry.
Not. Okay, just so we're clear.
You can be.
You literally earlier said we can't be angry, and I'm going to continue to be.
You can't just be angry at DC.
Oh no, I've been angry at everybody since. I'm
You can't
consistent.
just be angry at your rage. Can't just be focused at DC. It has to be Big Two focused or industry focused as a whole, because that we've been accepting.
Well, I mean, the price of lumber is going up, so why not paper?
Yeah, for us DIYers, man, that sucks. Who wants to pay $8 for a 2x4, man? It's crazy. Next on lumber for fun and profit.
Yeah. Invest in OSB.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about some Marvel June releases soon, an upcoming segment, and we'll see how their prices relate to DC's prices last week. And it's going to be close, but yeah, I don't think everything's going to go to $5.99. I think they're going to pick and choose to see what the market will bear. And if it's elastic enough to accept it, they're going to go with it. I mean, people are going to buy, 80,000 people are going to buy Batman every month, no matter what the price is.
Yeah,
so,
regardless.
I mean, I can't blame them. I'm probably dropping it. And I think enough's enough.
I'm not paying $5 for Nightwing.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And will I accept $4.99 but not $5.99? And is that silly to not pay the extra $1 because I'm getting the extra bonus story? It's hard. What part of me just wants to drop them? Just stick with $3.99 books. But I don't know. It's a tough call. Wade Ledden says, now that Marvel is leaving Diamond, are the big two really interested in actually selling comics to comic book shops? And is there any chance of getting a comic shop owner interview in the near future on the podcast? Well, yes, we've reached out to Eric. He's very busy. We're going to try to get Eric from Cowabunga and Deep Discount to come on and talk to us a little bit about this. He's swamped right now, which is good for him because they're doing really well. And he still has his day job too that's busting in his butt. So we're going to try to get him on. I really like his opinion on it. And Jason has some interviews with retailers coming up that they will touch on it as well. So we'll see that in the near future. And our patrons have already probably heard it. I think they've already heard it. So yes, you'll hear that down the road. So what does this mean? Okay, Marvel's leaving Diamond just like DC left Diamond last year. And if you remember, everybody hated DC for doing so. I'm not hearing the same bashing of Marvel for this decision as I heard for DC, but we'll see what happens there. What does this mean for readers? We're probably, those of us who mail order, going to be paying more for Marvel books. The discount with what is it, Random House? I can't remember. Yeah, Random House. Penguin Random House is who's going to be distributing Marvel now. Their discount is like a flat 50 for retailers. So they were getting 60 and more, 70, 80 in some cases. And their profit margins were much higher on Marvel books, and they were able to pass those savings on to us as retailers. You, as a reader who does mail order, probably going to pay more than you're used to. Your $3.99 book or $5 book is not going to be $2.50. It might be a little higher than that. Just could lead to less variety. So Penguin Random House is going to distribute books that sell and sell books that they can distribute more widely. This means a book that sells 5,000 copies a month is not going to stay in print, although they're just not going to do it. Your smaller stuff is just not going to probably happen, I'm guessing. What does this mean for ratio and Zenith variants? I don't know. I don't know if I'd be curious to if anybody knows if Penguin will still be able to support those. I would think they would. Or what do they want to mess with that? Because they're probably going to be running the show a little strong with a stronger arm than Diamond did because they're a big fish. Penguin Random House knows how to distribute stuff, and Marvel's not going to be the big dog in the fence, right? They're not going to be the big dog at the clay round, or whatever metaphor that I'm trying to butcher here. They can't. They won't. They're not going to have.
They're not going to be the frog boiling alive.
Yeah. They're not going to be able to bully because they're 50% market share, because they're going to might not be in their top 20 market share of things that they distribute. So, I think Marvel will have to fall in line and kind of do things the Penguin way, Random House way. So that could lead to less variety. So we get Spider-Man books and X-Men books and a couple of others that are high sellers and variations on those because they're guaranteed to sell, and less smaller things. Mm-hmm. You're not going to lose your Black Cats and things like that. It could be a bummer. For retailers, this is going to be smaller margins for them. So their profit margin is going to shrink on Marvel books. And it's going to be more work for them because that's yet another distributor they have to work with and set up an account and manage the orders through. Supposedly, Penguin is offering free shipping, which is going to put pressure on Diamond to add free shipping. And we'll see what happens there. But yeah, retailers, Marvel was most retailers' largest sellers and highest profit margin books, and that's not going to be the case anymore, which is a bummer. Or especially for bigger retailers, like your Midtowns, Cowabungas, etc., that sold a lot of books. They were getting great discount tiers.
They
and
earned
now, And now I think all yeah exactly. And now I think all retailers are going to be working from the same level, that flat 50, and it's going to cut into their profit margin and make them work harder for that. What does this mean for Diamond? Well, it could mean that they're dead. Or it could mean, that they're out of business. Or it could mean that they just have to move around because they're still going to be able to sell Marvel through Diamond, but they're just a wholesaler now. So they're basically just a retailer selling with the same 50% discount that other retailers would get. And so they can distribute, but then how will they pass that on? Will that be a 30% discount to someone ordering through Diamond Marvel, where they can get a 50% if they go through Penguin? I don't know. Why would any retailer do that? They wouldn't. So that, and if that's 50% of their comics running through and propping up their bottom line, it could really hurt them.
But we're still talking about each item is essentially coming from one location. So there's still no pick and choose for retailers, right? Because I'm just trying to think of when we used to go into our LCS, and every time we'd get a stack of bent books, they'd say App Diamond.
Right now it's 3.
Now it's just going to be App Penguin.
Well, it's going to be DC was shipped by Lunar, and Lunar sucks at packing or whatever. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure they do a fine job. And then Penguin will ship your Marvel books, and then Diamond will ship everybody else.
Yeah.
But then there are several publishers that are now jumping ship and breaking their exclusivity with Diamond and moving to Lunar and or Penguin. So they can be distributed by multiple distributors.
Gotcha.
So there's currently 3 comic distributors that shops have to deal with instead of just one. So there's more to blame. Three to blame, 3 to manage, 3 to order from, and like Eric always tells us, this is not your problem as readers. You shouldn't. It's work for them.
Our expectations should still be clean, quality books at a great price on time.
So if you have a pull box, or you walk in on Wednesday, you're a Wednesday Warrior, and walk in, your comics should be there. They should be. They shouldn't change. You're still, if you pay cover price, you're still going to pay that same cover price. And none of that should matter to you. These are just things that happen behind the scenes to others that may have ramifications down the road. So, is Diamond's going to suffer? I would think a lot, but maybe they have been planning for this, and it's not actually happening until October, so they have time to move around and position. What about those other smaller publishers? So if Diamond suffers to the point where they can't exist, who distributes Aftershock? Those publishers better get out of their exclusive contracts as quickly as possible and have backups so that they can be distributed by other places that will distribute a book that sells 3,000 copies a month. I don't know that Penguin will take them on, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe they will.
And then if you think if like a Diamond, goes kaput, as an unseen thing at the split second, then these people are scrambling for a distributor from a point of weakness and are going to get screwed deals too. Yeah.
So these are all sky is falling type of scenarios, and it could be like Eric always tells us, you see no change. It was a lot of things being shuffled around in the background, but for you, just as comic readers, nothing changes. And let's hope that that's the case, and just the pies are being cut up differently. Now, I have heard a conspiracy theory that Diamond is going to make a play to AT&T to license DC. And that supposedly AT&T doesn't want to be in the comic publishing business and would like to get out of it. And an option would be to license DC to Diamond. They pay their 40% licensing fee per book. And then their profit becomes 60% because they become a publisher that can self-distribute.
Mm-hmm.
And then that keeps them going. And that is how they make their money and then continue to distribute other. And that is why Marvel left, because of conflict of interest. They wouldn't want Diamond to publishing their competitor. But that is just a conspiracy theory that I've heard from just on the internet, which is not probably true, but I thought it was interesting. Like, wow, that would be cool. Because, if it was IDW that wanted to license DC, because they have a relationship with DC, and do the publishing, then they would have to still distribute through Diamond. So then there'd be 3 people taking cuts before it even got to us. And that would not be a winning situation either. So it's all new. It all happened this week. So we'll know more down the road, maybe, or we won't. Hopefully we can get some retailers' opinions on that. I think that is always an interesting opinion to hear, what they thought of it, and we'll go from there. Kyle, did I miss anything?
No, again, we don't know anything real concrete about everything, so yeah. I think we covered a lot of different bases and a lot of different options.
Yeah. So now let's look at Marvel. So
in our continuing quest to look through some previews ahead of time and help everybody with orders and see what's coming up in as much of the future as you can, we will continue our weekly dive through our Marvel previews. This is April for June 2021 shipping products.
So we hope that they continue to print a catalog.
Yeah.
Post October. I'm sure they will. But it won't be called previews. It'll have to be called something else. But let's enjoy previews while we have it.
There you go. And starting with the first items on our list, Heroes Reborn. And immediately I'm like, why is Wonder Woman on the front? But that's not one.
No, this is that whole Squadron Supreme, DC amalgam stuff they do from time to time.
All right, let's get through that.
Yeah. It's usually fun, but yeah, it's like...
Well, we're on 6 and 7, so we would have had to have made that decision a while ago.
Yeah, last week.
Nobody's jumping in now.
Yes. So then we have the Heroes Return capstone. It's a 56-pager, but it's $6. Yeah. So we got some $6 books here.
We do want to... Okay, so do we care about Police Commissioner Luke Cage and this American Knights?
I mean, it looks interesting to me.
Uh-huh.
And then like the Night Gwen number 1.
Yeah, I mean that could spike. She might be a cool looking character, not necessarily here, but somewhere else. Yeah,
and is that? So that's based on Nighthawk, I guess. Yeah, I've missed a lot of these amalgam crossover characters. So I'm reading Crime Syndicate, which is cool. I read some Squadron Supreme, so I've always enjoyed them, but I just don't know enough about everybody. I love that. I love that Heroes Reborn Marvel double action cover. That looks really cool.
That is kind of neat.
Looks like a found issue, like that. What DC's doing with their Let Them Live series, where they're pulling out old inventory stories and printing them. That's kind of. And then we have Heroes Reborn Squadron Savage number 1. It's another $5 book. Weapon X and Final Flight number 1. Another $5 book. And then we have something that's Infinite Destinies, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing is they're going to tell a story across the annuals again, which publishers used to do that more often. I think Big Two did this multiple times, and I always kind of thought it was neat and encouraged, to go all in on annuals, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you had a story there. And Infinite Destinies says the blurb is the greatest power in the universe has reinvented itself. The Infinity Stones will be revealed in Infinite Destinies as iconic, and new characters clash, setting up Infinity's score in Black Cat and the destruction or reinvention of the Marvel Universe after that. So we have in June Iron Man annual, Captain America annual, Black Cat annual, and there's going to be guest stars Quantum, Overtime, and Tiger Division. In July, we have the Spider-Man annual, Thor annual, with an appearance by Star and a classified appearance in Thor. So that should be your new character.
Mm-hmm.
And then in August, we have the Miles Morales Spider-Man annual, Guardians annual, Avengers annual, with guest stars Amulet, Prince of Power, and another classified appearance in Avengers. And then we have capping this off in Black Cat 8 and Black Cat 9, which is part 1 and 2 of Infinity's score. So that kind of, I think, takes care of that event. So that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, kind of 10-part event, I guess, that they're going to take over the summer. Looks kind of fun. What do you think about them spreading this out over annuals?
Not a bad thing. I mean, I think that's a cool way to it's an event, but not necessarily an event. But I think that's a cool way to keep your main character in. Like hypothetically, a person reading Black Cat will, or not Black Cat. That's the one that's not in the annuals. But like meeting Thor will possibly go to their annual to see the tie-in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you can either be in for a good bit or in for a lot, but it's not as much of a spread over as these big events have been.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't. It would be nice if Iron Man Annual was in the previous month. That you could have, because it's part 1. So if you could have sampled this to see, hey, I want to dip my toe into this event and see if I want to go all in. But no, you've got to kind of commit to all of these annuals for the month. Unless you FOC like both times. You can FOC in and out of some of them. But yeah, so Iron Man Annual, you've got to kind of find out really quickly if you want to be a part of this event or not.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's kind of neat. I don't know the last time they've done this was that the DC did this with some Batman stuff not that long ago, right? Late 90s, early 2000s. But I don't know how often this happens. Or if it's happened, then I've just like missed it. That's possible too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that gets us through a lot of those annuals, and then we get into Planet Size X-Men number 1, 48-page $5 book by Jerry Duggan. This is about the Hellfire Gala, and this is another kind of like X event, I guess, that Jerry Duggan's going to be a crossover event that Jerry Duggan's going to be managing.
And Pepe Larraz.
We've got Marauders, which is a tie-in.
Yep.
So that's Duggan. Yeah, the X-Force is tying in. Hellions tying in. And some of these are $3.99 books. So we're not all $4.99. We're sprinkling in some $3.99 books. So we got 2 events that's kind of taken everything that Marvel's offered so far. There's X-Corp number 2.
Really
X-Men
love that
21.
AHA cover.
Yeah, that's very nice. Sword, New Mutants is in there. Wolverine, of course.
Yeah.
Way of X. X Factor's tying in to the Hellfire Gala. Is Children of Adam not? I guess.
Correct, it is not. No, it's talking about it. Yep. If Children of Adam 4, Krakoa is opening its doors for the Hellfire Gala.
Yeah, Cable as well. It doesn't have the little band along the
So
top.
it looks like Children of Adam, they are taking the opportunity because of the gala to visit Krakoa.
Mm-hmm. So then we get to Marvel Voices Pride #1. This is LGBTQ plus month, I guess. So we're going to be celebrating that. That's a non-event tie-in, but it's kind of an event of its own, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And we had DC do this on the last one we talked about.
Yeah, last week they had
did
their own. Yeah, they had their own. And there are some Pride covers that'll be on some of those other events covered. Then we get to a non-event book, Predator #1, written by Ed Brisson with art by Kev Walker. Took a while, but we got here. Yeah, we're 33 pages in the Marvel previews before we get a non-event book. So we did Alien last week or last month, and now we're doing Predator. Or 2 months, 3 months ago. And there's Alien 4.
So we're clearly 2 months away from Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, we are. We're definitely going to get there, I'm sure. I have Alien, but I haven't read it yet.
There you go.
The first. We have Gamma Flight #1. It's a 5-issue miniseries by Al Ewing and Crystal Frazier. This is spinning out of Immortal Hulk. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Like Alpha Flight Gamma crossover. That'd be neat. We have a 5-issue United States of Captain America. That first issue by Christopher Cantwell and Josh Truillo is coming out, celebrating 80 years of Cap.
Spinning out of Demon Days, we have Demon Days Mariko #1. So they must have seen enough success with Demon Days, the standard run through. I think it was a 5-issue.
Yeah, must have been.
We're getting the second portion of that in the shadow of Kirishka Mountains.
Yeah. We've got the second issue of Shang-Chi, Gene Young Lang there. Life Story, Fantastic Four, the second issue, Mark Russell book. It's 40 pages, so it's $5. Your standard Fantastic Four, 33. A lot of these have these featuring Stormbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
R.B. Silva. What's that about? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I missed that. I noticed it's been on some of them. I don't know if that's their backup deal or not. There's only 32 pages, so probably not.
Yeah.
Reptile, however you pronounce it. The Marvels, #3. Beta Ray Bill, #4. Mighty Valkyries, #3. Man, these are all limited series, aren't they?
Yep, they are all finite.
Except Eternals. We're going to make Eternals online. Anybody reading that?
Crickets.
I hope that movie does well. Maybe that'll get some interest going. Our Amazing Spider-Man 67. This is a new storyline, so after King's Ransom, that long storyline. 67, 68, all about the Chameleon.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where they're going with these.
That's a great cover with all the heads on the walls.
Yeah, just looking at Chameleon Conspiracy.
That's a giant size Amazing Spider-Man Chameleon Conspiracy. That's a great cover. And that's the conclusion of that Chameleon Conspiracy storyline. Miles doing his Clone Saga, that continues in issue 27. Well, this Black Cat, is this a regular issue? Black Cat #7?
Yep, just a standard. And then 8 and 9 are the tie-ins.
Which are also, that's interesting. So there's going to be 3 Black Cats in the month of June?
Yes, looks like it.
Or maybe that 8 and 9 are, although those were going to be later in.
That's right. Those were after.
Summer.
Those were scrolling back up, but it's taken a while.
Yeah, that's right. Those were later on in the summer.
Yeah.
After the event had played out over the summer.
Yeah. Black Cat 8, Part 1, Black Cat 9, coming soon. It doesn't actually give the dates. They're after the August date, but I doubt they're after August.
Yeah.
So as long as not putting the date on them.
As long as none of the annuals are delayed.
Yeah, 100%.
We gotta hope. Silk #4. Kyle just hopes Silk blows up so big.
Yep, love Silk. Really good cover.
Yeah.
And there's a
Non-stop.
Jenny Frizen cover as the bee.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I love Non-Stop Spider-Man. At least the first issue, I really like that. Joe Kelly, Chris Bacalo. Avengers Mech Strike. I still don't really know what that is. Iron Man number 9. Gonna have the origin of Korvac. Should be fun. Cap Marvel 29. Still $3.99 book. Black Widow 8 is a $3.99 book. Captain America hits issue 30, which is the final issue of Ta-Nehisi Coates' run. Possibly some revelations in there. We're going to get him leaving his mark with an all-out fight to finish the Red Skull and Power Elite. We'll see what happens there. Could be cool. Trials of Loki, Marvel's Tales number 1. I don't know if that's a one-shot or... No, it collects Loki number 1 through 4.
I was going to say it's a collection.
Yeah. And is that what we're in now? No, there's Immortal Hulk 47.
I was thinking that was that, and then we're back to these.
More Stormbreakers. Tie-ins. I should read my Marvel press releases closer. I would know this.
Strange Academy 11.
Thor 14 finishes up the storyline, Prey storyline, which I got so far behind I just stopped reading Thor, and so 15 would be probably where I would jump back on then, because I'd be after a storyline finished up. So I'm going to try 15 and see if it's accessible for me. But it is the start of a new arc, so jumping on point for me, if I remember.
If this Daredevil 31 looks like something's going to happen in it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Elektra anymore, does it? So,
and it's a cool looking cover.
It does say Elektra fends for herself, but maybe there's multiple Daredevils now. Savage Avengers has Spider-Man on the cover, a crossover, so that always helps. Sell more copies. When in doubt, throw Spidey on there. Finally, some Star Wars, bro.
There you go. The Rancor. I do love a good Rancor battle. With a variant of Peach Momoko for Star Wars. Okay, you got me there.
So there's multiple Rancors, right?
Yeah. That's just a variety of beasts.
Right. Keeve Trennis. That's one of our new characters, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As along with Vernestra Rowe and Imri Kantaros.
Mm-hmm.
All new.
Yep.
Look at that War of the Bounty Hunters wraparound cover.
Pretty cool.
Okay, go left to right, Kyle, on the War of the Bounty Hunters wraparound cover. Who's all the way on the left there? By Chewbacca's knee.
That is what we got that as. That was the Sith Marauder, or the Sith whatever it was that we got on the cover of the one. That's the new character they put in.
Okay, then we have Bosk.
Then we have Bosk.
And then holding up...
Chewbacca is throwing Dengar.
Okay, and then who's under the foot underneath Chewbacca's crotch? Who's that? Brainy looking.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one there.
And then who has the foot? Who's the girl in green?
That's the one girl we've been talking about in this series that I don't know real well. Same thing with the dude with the torch.
What about the half robot face?
Those are the guys from this series, this Bounty Hunter series that we've kind of just gotten into.
Okay.
And
then we have Boba
Fett, and then
the guy from the Cantuine, right? Canteen.
Yeah.
Cantuine is the combination of Tatooine and
Is that
Cantina.
supposed to be Afra, and then the girl with the dreads is her friend from the Afra series?
Maybe. It looks like.
I think, we're bringing Afra into this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we're bringing Afra into this. Yep. That's the one from Afra, and that is Afra.
So War of the Bounty Hunters, number 1.
Yeah, and we get a dope cover of Boba Fett with the Slave One on it. So that's awesome. We're gonna have a lot of variants.
Who's doing the art here?
The internals are Steve McNiven.
I mean, those can't be final.
2 watercolory.
Yeah.
They look good.
Looks like Peach Momoko.
Yeah, they're a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, it's not bad. I don't mind it. Something different. Like how it's bleeding outside of the squares.
and then
Okay, and then everything's tying in. So if I want to follow Bounty Hunters, I got to jump back to Star Wars with Charles Soule.
And you have to do
And
the
I got
same
to
with
read
Dr.
Aphra.
Aphra?
Gosh.
They're all tying in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Vader ties in.
Vader ties in. Okay.
Versus Dark Droid.
So you in, you out?
I'm in.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm definitely in.
Okay, here's Stormbreakers, the next generation of elite artists. I probably should have just read this thing before we got on the air, but so I guess that's the deal. That's the Stormbreakers are variant covers by emerging artists.
Yes.
Pat Gleason is not an emerging artist. He's been around forever. Peach Momoko is not emerging. I guess you could
She's
call
been
her
on
up.
everything for a year straight now.
Yeah. All right, whatever. That's fine. That's the 2020. Well, it's 2020 class, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's possible. All right. And is that everything except for all ages trades and statues? I think that covers it, right?
That's it. That is all I got.
Okay, so 122 pages of goodness in the Marvel guide. My goodness gracious, a lot of stuff.
That was
pay
big.
attention to. Yeah, there's a lot there. But let's go back now to compare and contrast to the DC previews or DC Connect from a price point standpoint. Are there more $3.99? Do you recall there being more $3.99s, like as a percentage of releases in the Marvel than the DC?
I don't recall, but it doesn't seem like it was exorbitantly more.
And then you didn't have a lot of $5.99s this month, Marvel. Mostly $4.99 books, but you had some $5.99. So we'll see. Let's put a pin in this. Let's not make any declarative statements. Let's see what the price points look like next month in the July releases from DC and Marvel, and see how we're doing from a $3.99, $4.99, $5.99 stamp. If there's a percentage that are, because didn't you say a while ago that you noticed all the Black Label had gone to a certain price point?
Yep.
If they were prestige, so I don't know. That's I think it's a wait and see, right? We don't really know exactly what the plan is, unless there's some. All right, Kyle, let's hop into cover price and see what's hot right now.
All right, heading over to do some cover price top 10. We're going to go through this because it's got a little bit more detail on some of the things. If there's a couple things that I'm not sure who's in it or why it spiked, they tend to drop that in here. So we're just going to run through this real quick. Starting with rank 10, they have Marvel number 6, the Lee Bermejo 1 in 25. This is from 2021. This just came out. Silver Surfer variants can often feel redundant or boring or simply miss the mark on capturing our favorite Sentinel of the Spaceways. However, this Lee Bermejo variant nails the Silver Surfer perfectly. Gorgeous, explains why it moved 51 copies and $145 for a raw. Is that a good return on your 25?
Yeah. Yep, that's a pretty good return.
That's where you like to see him there.
Yeah.
At rank 9, of course, Ultimate Fallout 4. We don't need to continue to talk about that. Miles Morales. CGC 9.8, we're at $3,500. It's insane. ENIAC number 1. ENIAC remains on the list for the third week in a row, while raw copies have fallen to around 100 to 130. It still sold 49 copies, and a 9.8 for CBCS is $500.
Yeah.
Nottingham, number 1. Of course, Drew completely right on this. He and I talked about how it was a really neat take on the Robin Hood method. Mad Cave publisher. This was number 1 on our list last week. This week's holdover is actually still pretty steady. It remains high. 49 copies and not quite $40 for a raw, so that's pretty good. West Coast Avengers 45, continuing to do great. White Vision is another book that keeps landing on the top 10. Faith in seeing the White Vision again has people committed to continuing to buy this. So a lot of people think that we're going to continue to see White Vision as we go forward in the MCU. A CGC 9.8.
Yeah.
It's $1,350.
That's amazing. That is just amazing.
Now, you have picked this up for a quarter not 5 years ago, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I sold my run. I have to go through my because I had started a second run and I don't know where I'm at on it. If I got lucky enough to have these in there, I don't know. I should pull them out though because yeah, these are worth it. Now Paul Bettany has talked about how much he likes playing Vision and that he will play Vision forever if Marvel wants him to.
So much so that he explained that his most anticipated cameo appearance was him playing against himself.
Yes, which put people in a tizzy.
Shocker.
Internet got upset. Can you believe that?
Yeah. At rank 5, Captain America 25, due to Joaquin Torres' appearance on the Falcon and Winter Soldier, speculators feel that Sam Wilson will take on the Captain America mantle more than ever. If Joaquin takes the Falcon mantle, then it's only because Sam has finally accepted the Captain America moniker. First appearance as Captain America in this issue, 54 copies, a 9.8, $390.
Yep.
At rank 4, Falcon and Winter Soldier number 1. Excuse me. While these issues featured the first appearance of the two characters, The Natural and Veronica Eden, its recent market success could simply just be due to it being their first team-up title, but that also shares the name for the show. So, you just don't know why. But it moved 46 copies, $90 for a CGC 9.8.
And I didn't list this on our list because that's also a good one just because they're teamed up.
Yep.
Maybe that'll have some.
But the bonus of The Natural and Veronica Eden.
Yes.
At rank 3, Sam Wilson's Captain America number 3. As noted, this issue features the first appearance of Joaquin Torres, who appears on the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Episode 1. While the news was rumored for months, this official appearance lit sales on fire, moving 52 copies, $115 for a raw of Sam Wilson, Captain America. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. At rank 2, X-Men number 4, Omega Red. Rumors remain strong. WandaVision has left us all reluctant to jump on a rumor, but that's what sales are doing for this first appearance in this issue. Sold a huge 108 copies on the secondary market. CGC 9.8 going for as high as $481. And at rank 1, Sam Wilson, Captain America 5. Again, Joaquin Torres' appearance on Falcon Winter Soldier tells us that Joaquin will most likely take on the Falcon moniker as he did in this issue. So this issue moved 34 copies, $84 for a raw. Again, all speculation. We don't know this. This is just what we're puzzling together.
Wow. The bottom 10, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 1, number 11 from 1994. That's picked up. Why? Let's see, generating with a new series coming and a new TV show being developed. The ongoing Harris comic is more accessible than their first early appearances. However, we think these sales are moving due to the White Ranger trading card that's included in the book. The card market is exploding and has spilled over into moving comic cards. So maybe the real answer is both.
There you go.
Regardless. Yeah, so it's a high sale of 110 for a CBCS 9.6.
Oh, dang. Not even CGC, not even 9.8.
Yes, exactly. We have Spawn number 1, sold 42 more copies, and it's up to 250 for a CGC 9.8. Ultimate Fallout 4, we know that one, selling well. This is the Pacelli second print, doing very well, $800 for a 9.8. Moon Knight number 1, my boy, continues. It's been a while since we've heard any news on the Moon Knight series. Fans are itching for an update. They continue to snatch up copies of this first series. 41 copies sold. $600 for a CGC 9.8.
You itching for an update?
Sure. I mean, I hope it does for Moon Knight what, every other Disney Plus series seems to do for those characters.
There you go.
I want success for that character. I want him to be around and people itching for it.
There you go.
Captain America number 6, Winter Soldier cover. It comes in at rank 15. This is from 2005. This is the first full appearance of the Winter Soldier, and it's hitting huge highs thanks to a well-received series. Sold 19 copies and had a high sale of $1,000. for a CGC 9.8. $999. I'm sorry, I rounded up.
How dare you?
Yeah. Star Wars number 8 comes in at rank 16 from 1977. First appearance of Jackson, the space rabbit. Is
Really?
moving. Yeah. 19 copies moved and had a high sale of $65 for a CGC 8.5. Although a CGC 9.8 sold for $765. Most of us that read Star Wars back then, we beat the heck out of our comics. So getting a 9.8 is going to be...
Yeah, no doubt.
Good luck. Captain America 323, we mentioned this from 1986. This is John Walker as the new Captain America at the end of the first episode. So of the series, this sent people racing online to gobble this up. Had a high sale of $770 for a CGC 9.8. Another Ultimate Fallout 4. This is the Bagley second print. Had a high sale of $1,400 for a CGC 9.8, which is just up from $1,300 last week. Spider-Man 2099 number 1. Spidey has a massive CGC 9.9 sale last week of $3,500. This sale put a spotlight on high-grade copies, and collectors threw a little more money into the 9.8s, which sold 26 copies and had a high sale of $119 for a CGC 9.8. So that's a jump.
Yeah.
So $119 for a CGC 9.8 or $35.50 for a CGC 9.9. So what do you got to pay the CGC grader to give you a 0.1 higher grade on your book, your near mint book? I mean, it's wow. I'll give you half of what I sell it for, and you're still making money. Marvel Voices number 1 from 2020. This cameo appearance of the Children of the Atom, as well as the first appearance of the Goddess Spider. The spider that bit Peter Parker and Cindy Moon. I can't believe this. Sold 19 copies, had a high sale of $89 for a near. All right, cool, very nice. Now it's time for FOC.
FOC, of course, our final order cutoff. It's our last chance to add a few things to our lists. Make sure we have these things that we don't have to chase them on the secondary market. Of course, we get our things from Deep Discount Comics. And they send us a lovely email with all our FOC items. And on that, they feature a few things as well.
As well as a bad idea disclaimer, Kyle.
I missed that.
Yes, please note. So bad idea, Cowabunga Deep Discount is carrying Bad Idea comics. They're in the second wave or whatever of retailers. The Bad Idea, if you've been following this, I don't know if you have or not, but they have some interesting rules and regulations for how their comics should be sold. So if you're on the list and you want Bad Idea comics, you can get them, but you can only get one. And you have to commit to the whole series. So if it's a 4-issue, a 3-issue, a 5-issue, whatever it is, you've got to commit to one of each. When you get this, you can't just get the number ones. And that seems to be throughout their distribution. And if you break that, like Kyle and I share an account with Deep Discount, so we have to thumb wrestle over who gets the opportunity to commit to the
or it could be the
idea.
guy whose house the comics go to and who opens the box first.
It could be also that way. That's true. Shoot, I have forgotten that no matter what we decide, the ultimate decider is the post office.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. So, but it's cool. I mean, a lot of us didn't have any retailers around us that were to be Bad Idea distributors. I think they were limited to 50 for the first wave and maybe 200 for the second. I can't remember. Podcaster Mike Myers, he has been flip-flopping back and forth trying to find distributors. He was all in there. He was committed to buying everything. Then he kind of just backed off a little bit about Bad Idea, and I'm not sure where he landed, whether he's back to all in or going to sample or what, or if he even found a distributor. But
he has now, because he can always come over to Deep Discount.
Yep. He can always come over to Deep Discount and get them. I don't know, man. It's a tough call. They're doing some weird things, and some things I get. I understand they want to support the industry, and I don't think they like speculators. So they don't want that to be the driving force. They want it to be about the comics, and they're going to enforce the rules. So what do we think about that, Kyle?
Stop trying to change the industry. Stop trying to make things your way. Sell your stupid peddly books, and if I want to take it home and wipe my butt with it, that's what I'll do. You don't tell me what to do with your mom comic.
All right, okay, that's enough caveats on bad ideas. So go ahead, Kyle. Finish up what you were saying.
I'm sorry. Did I change the way you were going to talk about that with my answer?
No. I think that's a valid excuse. I think it's a valid reason to not want to do what they're saying, or not. It's up to you.
And a few other things that our good friends at Deep Discount have pulled out for us. Catwoman number 30, the cover B, Jenny Frison. Of course, there's one of the $5 books. It's the card stock is the reason that's $5. Okay, I'm jumping the gun on things like that. Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red, the trade paperback, is out for that whole series. Kojakaru, the Skinner number 1 from IDW and Mike Mignola written book.
Good pronunciation. I like that. Kojakaru.
There you go. Old Guard, Tales Through Time number 1, the second iteration of the Old Guard series. Nick Spencer writing this. Coming out from Image. Mighty Valkyries number 1 from Marvel, Jason Aaron and Torren Grogbeck writing that. The Women of Marvel from several different writers, female writers from Marvel on this one, and several different female artists on this one. Sarah Pacelli doing the cover on that $6 book. We talked about the ENIAC, the sales of the ENIAC 1 through 4. And then our good friends at Deep Discount are featuring a toy from Hasbro. You can order the Star Wars Black Series 50th Anniversary Jackson X.
What do you think, Kyle? That's kind of neat, isn't it?
I do like my Black Series stuff. I don't know that Jackson is one that I ever thought I would want.
Was he ever a small action figure?
I don't know on that one. Not sure.
What era is he? He was never in any of the movies, right?
No, but he was in that Star Wars 8 that came out in, pre-80s or whatever.
Yeah. So he was in the comic series, but he was never in the movies.
Correct. Even probably in the holiday special, but that's it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But let's dig down and see what we can find. Let's start with our DC items, see if we can find anything we gotta have. Probably biggest thing for me is that same Catwoman 30 Jenny Frison. Yeah. And of course Nightwing 79.
Who's doing the black and white? Anybody? Are we back to good people doing the black and white? Penultimate, Kyle.
Oh my.
Let's see. We've got Full History of Nightwing by Joe Malign from Far Sector. Kieran Gillen. Yeah, what's he doing? Yeah, it's not your top tier. Gilded Dent. Oh, that's the character. Sorry, Mariko Tamaki. Yeah. I think we may have already got the best press creators already on this.
Yeah, Jenny Frison cover B on that black and white's pretty.
Yeah, it's very nice.
But that's all for me for DC.
Well, besides, you already mentioned Nightwing 79, I'm assuming.
Yep. I don't like the cover B, but I'm gonna buy it. I've been buying the cover A's.
You're sticking with one. Okay, Dark Horse. We already mentioned Jakaru.
Yep.
No, Koja. How did you say it?
Kojakaru or Kojakaru?
Kojakaru. Okay, Kojakaru. I like them both.
Yeah.
Those are both good.
Down to IDW. Godzilla Monsters and Protectors. If you're down for the kaiju, that looks all AGAF. So
yeah.
Wow.
So next week we get Kong versus Godzilla on HBO Max and in the theaters in the same day.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that one. Pro Kong, of course.
These TMNT ongoing, these 10 copy incentives have been popular on the secondary market. This one kind of neat. A very interesting cover, the Juniba cover.
Yeah.
They've been worth taking a flyer on these 1 in 10s.
Yeah, what's your investment there?
$20.
$20.
Down into Image for me. We're at rank 4 on Haha.
Look.
We're no longer into mimes.
Yeah, we got a new Old Guard series starting up.
Battlefield variant's very cool.
Radiant Black's second issue goes to a second printing as well.
What? Drew, did you know there was this kind of want for superhero books in Image?
You know, I want to retract that whole statement.
That is an awesome looking second print on cover 2.
Yeah,
That is really cool looking.
I can't get there. Oh, it is. It is nice.
Yeah.
Who's doing that? Tom Riley. Okay.
Better get that. That's pretty dope.
Kyle, what is the Stray Dogs horror movie variant?
That Caroline, or whatever the name of that stupid doll is.
Chucky?
No.
Chucky?
Coraline or Caroline. That little porcelain doll that kills people, I think.
Oh, okay. Ultra Mega, of course, goes to a second print and has a 5-copy incentive second print variant. That's interesting, right?
Yes, indeed.
We do see that occasionally, right? It's not the first time we've seen this, but
Correct.
It doesn't happen that often. Walking Deluxe is up to 4. Walking Dead Deluxe is up to 4 variants.
Mm-hmm.
After down to 3, back up to 4. No reason. No, we don't know why.
Yeah, we're not sure on that one.
And then there's Alien number 2. I didn't get a chance to read Alien number 1 yet. I'm going to have to read that to see if I want to keep going with it. The glory of FOC is now if I read it today, I can make my decision tomorrow or the next day on whether I want to keep going. I don't have to have committed to the first 3 issues before reading it, which is nice. Thank you, Deep Discount. And we'll be looking at Mighty Valkyries here. Oh, and a new Jane Foster.
I'm out. I'm just done.
You're done with Jane Foster?
Yeah.
You Jane Fostered out?
I mean, we've gone through such a ride in just the past few years. It's crazy.
Yeah, and she already had a Mighty Valkyries book,
Yeah.
right? So we're just doing it again?
Yep.
Okay.
I think Way of X looks neat. I liked the last thing we did with him where he was a swashbuckler as well. And I like Cy Spurrier. I hope they let him go a little darker with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and read this.
Okay. That'll be your first X book in a while.
Since X-Men Red.
That's a wow.
Yeah.
That is a wow.
That was about a year and a half. I jumped into the House of X and
okay.
I jumped into that and jumped quickly
The Hickman
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
The Hickman stuff, yeah.
Yep.
The Hickman stuff is a slog unless you commit.
Yeah. But, I don't know. This is just kind of something that tickles my fancy. Like, they're writing this book going, Kyle likes this kind of thing. Let's see if we can grab him. And for now, it's worked.
Yeah, he said Kyle likes Nightcrawler on a boat as a pirate.
I like pure Nightcrawler doing Nightcrawlery things, and this is
Gotcha.
This is it.
Yes.
Because they can't get me with Wolverine anymore. He's just too overused. But this is an interesting way of doing Nightcrawler enough that even though they've done it recently, I'm just like, let's check it out.
Yeah.
Women of Marvel, which cover you doing?
I'm not. I'm steering clear.
Let's say you were. I don't even like Peach Momoko that much. Dang.
I don't know. They're all pretty average.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but I didn't look at the Wolf. Yeah, it's not. But down in with Alice in Leatherland from Black Mask Studios, it's written by Iolanda Zanfardino.
Clicking that cover, that is not what I thought Alice in Leatherland was going to be.
I was the exact same thing. And it's a young writer of children's storybooks.
Yes.
Is hurtled into her fairy tale-like life when she discovers her girlfriend has been cheating on her. So that's not what I thought Alice in Leatherland would be about.
Nope.
And it's a Black Mask book, so we'll get 2, maybe 3 use before a long delay.
Yes, exactly right.
And maybe never ever finish it.
There you go.
Spectre and Spectre's number 1 goes to a second printing. Let me see. Nope, it's new.
Hey, that's good. Orcs number 2, or Orcs number 3, halfway through that book. Christine Larson. Holy crap, Sacred Six.
Yeah,
Jeez.
lot of covers in Dynamite. Girls of Dimension 13 is an Aftershock book by Graham Nolan and Brett Blevins. With 4 young women are brought close together by a mysterious invitation to live in a creepy building in New York City. It's a portal to other dimension.
I pre-ordered this, if I remember correctly.
I mean, until Aftershock burns us. I mean,
Yeah.
how many great books have they had? None of them have been bad.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, they all seem very good, very high quality.
Along with the AWA people, I mean, those guys have been just crushing it.
Yep.
And then now we get down to Bad Idea, and I didn't realize the ENIAC is not a first print for number 1.
Correct, it's not.
So you're getting a subsequent number 1 printing, and you've got to commit to a 1 through 4, but number 1 is not a first print.
Correct.
Which is why it's $300. And then Tankers number 1 is a first print, but could be allocated depending on print runs. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You might pre-order. From what I understand, you might pre-order number 1 or Tankers 1 through 3, and then number 1 gets allocated and you get a second print of number 1. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, because I would not think they would just say you don't get number 1, but you get 2 and 3.
Right. Yeah, they would definitely get you but they're not going to guarantee that you're going to get first prints on everything, which is really a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why there's no check mark by me on beside those.
Yeah. I'm right on the fence, man. I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, they're trying new things, and I want to support them, but it's just been such a weird roller coaster to get here. I'd be curious what everybody else is doing about steering clear, waiting for it to be in quarter bins down the road.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough. Let's hop over to.
Let's go to Comic Book Invest real quick.
Yeah.
Check out our Hot 10. We kind of flipped the order on these a little bit because I wanted to go through the cover price first. But let's circle back around to our good friends at comicbookinvest.com and look at their Hot 10 for March 26th. At rank 1, we have Daredevil, number 9 from 1999. This is the David Mack written run. Remember a couple weeks ago when this hit the list, it jumped to $100 for Raw. Now it has doubled that, and 9.8s are $800. Think of what this would be if number 10 was the cover on this number 9.
I don't know what that means.
Apparently number 10 has a really cool cover. I wish this had a really cool cover.
What is the deal here? Do we know?
We did. We read it before, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
At rank 2, Captain America, number 7, the second print from 2019. 0 sales, and then all of a sudden, this is a $275 book. Somebody posted an article right here on CBSI, and it seems that some are jumping all over this one. Kind of ridiculous price jump. Flash in the pan there. Truth, red, black, and white, number 1. Robert Morales writing this. That 2 minutes of screen time was so incredibly tense. Please don't let that be the extent of what they do with this character. It is doubled from the $80 price point of life.
Yep, we highlighted that one.
We talked about that one. Machine Man, number 7. Jack Kirby writing this one. This is an oldie, a 35 center. Jumping from $5 or less to $35 or $50 because of an ad about Power Broker, Super Serum, yada, yada, yada. If you are chasing this first appearance of Curtis Jackson, why wouldn't you go for the first Power Broker in The Thing, number 35 first?
Yeah, so there's a couple of Power Brokers, and one's a mad scientist and one's Curtis Jackson, and I'm not sure which one is the one.
Yeah.
That are we talking about both of them in Falcon and Winter Soldier? We'll find out eventually.
There you go. At rank 5, Marvel number 6, the Libremehue 1 in 25 that we talked about earlier, up to 130 to 150 this week after it was selling for 75 to 100 last week. Great Terminator 2 looking cover. That's what I thought when I saw it. I'm excited about rank 6, Tokyo Ghost number 1 by Rick Remender and Sean Murphy. Less than cover, up to $30 and more this week after Legendary Pictures picked this one up for a movie. I have a ton of these. I really like this series.
It was great, yeah.
NYX number 3 by Joe Quesada. This thing's always been expensive, and now it's more expensive. 9.8s are now selling for $1,500 after being around $1,000 for the better part of 3 years. The $2,000 9.8 key standard is just over the horizon for this one.
I don't know why, but whatever.
Yeah. Captain America 312. Prior to the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, this was approximately a $20 book. Expect to pay upwards of $100 for a higher grade copy, with a graded 9.6 going for $325. I think the character is great on the show, but does the fact that it is Carly in the MCU and not Carl mean this book has no significance?
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
Yep. Thor 617 by Matt Fraction. I forgot he wrote a run on Thor.
I did too.
Several outlets are reporting that Kid Loki is coming to the MCU thanks to Phil Lee for this info. As such, this book jumped in price from $20 to $25 to over $50. While not on the cover, don't forget about the Tron variant for this. No. And this was my pick. I just saw
your
this.
pick.
Holy crap.
Even a broken clock is right.
Yeah, no kidding. Cold Dead War #1, selling for $15 after release. Written by George Romero's son, George C. I like this concept of zombies from the past. Has anyone read this one? Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
There you go.
Honorable mentions, we have Betty #6. What? Thanks to Steve Horn for the heads up on this one. Jumping from $10 to over $150. Why? Some Simpsons level Nostradamus predictions inside. Pretty cool if you ask me.
Okay. So what?
Yeah.
So they just predict the future?
Something that happens now happened in that book, and it's just like Kismet, and now we got to get that because that's pretty cool.
Got it. Okay.
Chilling Tales #15 with a wicked cover. OSPG lists a 6.5 at about $350. A great,
help me there.
I don't know. A graded 6.5 sold this week for $9,000. Few prior sales, but the closest in grade was a 7.0 that sold 10 years ago for $160. This definitely qualifies as one of those Golden Age covers.
It's a comic grading and restoration.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Drew.
Wait. No, it's Overstreet Price Guide.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can't trust that. That's why it was off by so much. Anyways, moving on. It's time for our sneak peek at next week. What we want to look at. Coming out.
How did I not know that's what that was?
Yeah.
Terrible.
So let's head on over to Lunar and look at our DC books.
God. Of all people not to know.
Overstreet Price Guide.
I'm the guy that should know Overstreet Price Guide. Lord. Look at that Batman Catwoman cover.
Yeah, it's a good looking cover. Okay. Just the 30th for DC book.
We're going to finish out Future State still. We've got some Future State stragglers.
Yep. Not much coming out this week, and honestly, nothing I care about aside from that's a neat looking cover for Catwoman 4. That's it.
Nothing does it for you, huh?
Nothing tickling, nothing.
Okay.
Heading over to Image Books. We're heading to previewsworld.com, finding the 31st and finding Image. Shadecraft.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe Henderson. Zade Lu is afraid of her own shadow. The dark tones of Demon Slayer and Something is Killing Children meets a cast of contemporary teen characters, not unlike Veronica Fish and Kelly Thompson's Sabrina the Teenage. So we have horror.
Yeah.
Interesting enough that I'm gonna see if it's got anything I care about in it.
Yeah, I read the backup. There was like a backup pages in one of the comics. It looked good. It was like 5-6 pages good.
Spawn 316. Every cover is like S tier art. Every single one of these covers is like a poster. It's just stupid how nice they are. Ugh, I love them.
And that was the one that we could also get the 5.
I think
1 and 5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Noctera going to a second print. Shocker. A Scott Snyder book went to a second print. What?
Yeah, and I think that's a different cover.
It is. Get it. No, I'm writing it down now, actually. Just FYI.
Too bad I go first.
Dang it! Two Moons #1 also going to a second print. We liked the premise of that. Thought it was pretty cool. We'll see about that going forward. You can also pick up #2 there. Really good cover A on that. I love that one.
I don't have anything until Marvel.
And Dark Horse. Yep. IDW. Yep. Okay. Down into Marvel.
Beta Ray Bill.
Which
I'm
one?
excited about the Headshot variant. The Todd Knock Headshot, I think.
There you go.
Maybe the Stegman. I can't remember what the
Stormbreakers is Iban Coelho.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was all pretty good. I'm interested in that.
If you're doing Beta Ray Bill, you have to have the classic.
Yeah, the Thor cover.
Yes, and if you're not going to do that, just don't do anything but a cover A. I want my Simonson cover.
You can only go to the well so many times, right?
Oh, really? Because every single rip-off of 300 doesn't sell like crazy.
Silk #1. I'm excited for that.
So we got these Ghost Rider covers, right? And we got these women's history variants. The women's history variant for Ghost Rider is really cool, but I don't even know who it is. Kushala. I don't know who Kushala. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, that stuff.
Okay. I'm really digging these women's history variants, actually, if you can figure out who's on them and stuff. So, like, the Black Cat #4 women's history variant just has Felicia Hardy on the front, not Black Cat-ish. And that's really cool if you're a Black Cat guy.
Yeah.
That's really nice. It's not your typical Black Cat stuff. It's got her in her. And I want the silk. Shiza. I didn't order that, did I? Crap. I need that.
And there's the Emma Frost X-Men 19 women's history.
I'm going to have to call
They're
up
very
Eric
nice.
and say I want that. I just like what they're doing there. All right. High Republic 2 going to a third print in Marvel. And High Republic 3 going to a second print in Marvel. Continuing to dominate on these High Republic books.
New covers.
And they're giving us new covers on them. Just my way of saying get them. There's zero downside to getting them.
Yeah. Well, you've already bought them twice.
You're always going to be able to get your money back out of them.
That's a guarantee. That's a Kyle
that's a
guarantee.
C4 FAP stamp on the front of that beast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah. Down to Dynamite. Moving on from Boom down into our smaller publisher.
We got Cult of Dracula #1. That's Source Point. That's our good buddy Source Point.
There you go. I like that. We talked about this a couple times on FOC and stuff.
And Destiny New York from Black Mask, the Pat Shan book, another Black Mask book that may not come out completely.
Ooh. Okay, sorry. I'm caught up in manga. My bad.
It's not manga for comic.
No, I clicked on Goblin Slayer Side Stories #2 because that's the manga I'd watch.
Oh, nice.
So I was just like,
oh, do you? You do watch it?
I've watched a lot of. I went through a manga phase for 6 months, or a anime phase for 6 months. So I watched a lot of it. It's got manga backs.
And what's your?
I like them. There's some really good stuff out there.
That's cool.
Yeah, like that Demon Slayer that just came out. Really good. A lot of really good stuff. Don Machi, I'm really obsessed with that. A lot of neat stuff.
So, Witch Blood from Vault is a Matthew Ehrman, Lisa Sturl book. And it's a modern Wild West road trip about a witch named Yana cruising the Southwest as a band of bloodthirsty biker vampires, the Hounds of Love, hunt her scattered coven for the source of all magic, which is witch blood.
You said that was the... What's the name of that one? Oh, that's
Witch Blood #1.
Yeah.
Witch Blood #1.
Wow, Night Hunters #1 from Floating Worlds comic got a second print. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, this is the point of the podcast where I ask for your sneak peek in next week. What's the one thing to make sure you snag up, because it's going to be the next thing on one of these Hot 10 books?
I'm going to go with Witch Blood. I'm having trouble deciding which cover to go with. Cover B is a tarot card homage. That's pretty cool. And then the cover C is a Dazzler homage, which is kind of neat. So I think I'll go with the tarot card. So Witch Blood cover B for me. Yeah. Witch Blood #1 from Vault Comics.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I'm going to go ahead and just talk in Nocterra #1, the second print. Gotta have it. So we appreciate you tagging along with Drew and myself through a sneak peek at next week on these things. Head on over to our Patreon, search Comics for Fun and Profit. You can find all our links to everything there. The ability to sign up and get a few things early if you were interested in some of those talks that Drew talked about earlier. Some of them are already available early access to our patrons. We have some giveaways, all kinds of fun stuff. We'd appreciate it if you would check that out. Help keep the lights on, so too. We thank you guys for joining us today. For Drew and for myself, see you.